Hello all, welcome to Dots of Destiny. Om Namah Shivaya. Gemini ascendants, this is your horoscope for the year 2025. The main transits are very clear. We'll go a little bit into the detail of Mars, Mercury, and Venus, because these are also playing quite an important role in determining the factors this year. Though Sun carries on with its regular transit, and Dasha is very important, as you know. Governing Dasha will determine through which passage your 2025 will go. So, starting with the year is that you see now at this point in December 2024, the end month, your Lagna Lord is in Scorpio and retrograde. Now, this will happen the same when it comes to the end of 2025. So, Mercury will complete a full circle this year and retrograding all in the watery signs. This time now, as it is in retrograde in Scorpio, then it will get retrograde in Cancer, and then first Pisces in the month of March. It will go direct in April, and then June, July it will go retrograde in Cancer, and then again back to Scorpio by the end of the year, November, December, like that. So this is there, Mercury's regular transit this is, and those pockets are definitely important because Scorpio being your sixth house. So obviously, as you see the planets, all, as we all know till now, there are so many videos on the the conjunction of all the planets happening, the stellium of planets in Pisces. So now that is your 10th house. So here at this point of the year, 2024, when you're ending, you may be having some rectification in the year in your sixth house area. Mercury is a very fast moving planet. When it retrogrades, is a usual retrograde because you have to give some more time to that area and things regarding that place of your life, which is in the sixth house, your subordinates, your daily life routine, your Rogrin Shatru. If you have a bank loan, you think about it, how to go along with it. If you have some diseases, any kind of thing that is bothering you, how to maybe, your Lagna Lord going into the sixth house. Sixth house for Mercury is not a bad area. But the thing is that Scorpio is a very dark sign. Sometimes Mercury feels quite irritated out there. Now, as the year progresses, 2025 comes January, you have already Saturn in Aquarius for the last 3 months, January, February, March, and Venus, your fifth lord, and your 12th lord will be joining Saturn in the 9th house. So 9th house is very important in the month of January, and Mercury and Sun will be both in Sagittarius, which is a very good combination in the 7th house, Buddha-Ditta Yoga. In partnerships, in business, whatever form you are engaged in with the 7th house, it will give you some better and good feeling, because Mercury Sun both does well together, especially does well in Sagittarius. Now Jupiter is in Taurus, the 7th lord, and the 10th lord is in Taurus, and so you can see there is the 9th house becomes important, and the 12th house Jupiter is already there in the month of January. So any kind of things with related to the 9th house becomes prime important, because these are the few last minutes, last 3 months of Saturn just staying in your 9th house for, Bhagyodaya you can call, or giving you a very what should I say? See, 9th house is also bosses. So if you are troubled with that, or if you are thinking big, because when Saturn is in the 9th house and in transits towards the 10th, there is a big change, a big shift. And already ninth house is a very long term planning house also. Originally it is a Sagittarius house, so it gives that kind of a long term planning feeling over there. Now here the fifth lord joining with the ninth lord is a very good yoga in the ninth house, so even education, long distance journeys, all these are favored. 12th house Jupiter, that is, I feel that your 10th lord being there, your 7th lord being there, also it is the house of your spouse's sixth house, that is six from the seventh, so it's the job area of your spouse also. So your job and your spouse's job can go for a overhaul, some rectification, some changes. Now this is the main theme of January. Now as February comes, Venus makes another conjunction with Rahu, and this is in the 10th house, so Saturn is still in the ninth, Rahu Venus combination in the 10th, and Pisces Venus gets exalted. It's a very good yoga, Panch Mahapurush yoga, Malavya, and that is really good actually in the 10th house. So here Rahu had been there for a very long time now in your 10th house, and maybe if you have a governing Rahu Mahadasha, then you could have had a challenging time also, and a time which taught you much about the 10th house things and how to go with it. Maybe new people, new things in the 10th house area, new way of thinking, some out of the box ideas. Because Rahu in the 10th is good, it is always good, but how? It does not give immediate results. That is how the malefics are not geared up to make you a smooth journey. So Rahu now coming into, slowly it will come into 9th, Saturn into 10th. It's a different journey, but after all your focus will be the 10th house and the 9th house only. So it is, see, this is the time for build up, and maybe you are in your 40s, in your 50s, later I'm telling, if you're in 30s, definitely you'll have a big change in your 10th house, which is just happening, just it's lurking around the corner, very big change. And now the thing is that February month, this Rahu Venus combination in the 10th house is good, and Mercury will come into Capricorn with Sun in your 8th house. That is also good. Mercury is a flexible planet, and the 8th house, I don't feel it's a very bad 8th house. When Mercury is there in the 8th, you can have legacies, thinking, projects, joint ventures, insurance, so many things, research. Sun Mercury is very good and research oriented, technical research oriented, but Capricorn is a technical sign in the 8th house. So by that time, Venus is in conjunction with Rahu in the 10th house, and understand that 8th house is 11th from the 10th, so it can make you give you different kind of boost also, sudden changes also it can bring in your life. And why not? Because Venus, the 5th and the 12th lord, when it comes to the 10th house, it definitely brings in some change into that area, no doubt about that, because from the 5th, 10th is the 6th house. So here you will have some change when the 12th lord and the 5th lord comes in the 10th. Now February goes in a little bit slower space, because slower space in the sense Venus goes to become slow in the 10th. Jupiter becomes direct in the 12th house, and now it is rushing towards your Lagna. Saturn is also in it is in a very kind of a normal speed, a better speed than retrograde and all these things, so that it comes into your 10th house. In the month of March, what happened is that Mercury comes into Aquarius with Sun. Sun's transit is 15th to 15th of March. Mercury is also there in Aquarius, which is again a good yoga. Here, Venus in the month of March goes retrograde with Rahu over there. So month of March sees again contemplation. Whatever you had been thinking, because 5th house linked to the 10th is also name, fame, right? Glory, your name, fame, your professional front. And 12th lord brings some kind of change. So it is, changes can be benefic also. Yeah, changes are always not easy. Most of the time, not 100%, most of the time it is not easy. but the changes may be inevitable and needed, and you have to do it. So that is the theme now, with Venus going retrograde for a long time, from 2nd March to 13th or 14th of April. It's a long time that Venus is staying in your 10th house. So the 5th Lord wants to do some change in your 10th area. Maybe change of job, maybe change of department, maybe some people coming back into your life. Maybe you meet a lost affair in your 10th house place. That it can be as simple as that also. But these things are important as far as the 10th house is concerned. That there where is your focus is. And Mercury in the month of March, I'm telling. And Mercury by the time in Aquarius, this is also a good yoga with. So this is a good formation. Now, this is how March month goes, and when April comes, lot of changes are already there. And as you know, the first 2 weeks of April will see Saturn, Rahu, Venus, Mercury all getting, retrograde, and retrograde to direct in your 10th house. It will be retrograde for half of the month, and then Venus, Mercury both coming into Mercury by that time, your Lagna Lord debilitated but getting a Neech Bhanga. But all this stellium of planets in your 10th house in Pisces is in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Now here the transformation is see, immediately the planets may not show you a transformation, or it may happen that you already know that a transformation or a change, a overhaul, whatever you call it, is due for the 10th house. So knowingly, January, February, March, you know it is inevitable. Now April, this changes starts into falling into place, or action, I would say. Falling into place, settling down comes a little later. The changes starts happening from April, May, June. You will see a lot of changes, and for all the ascendants, you are no exception over here. 10th house sees Mercury, Venus retrograde to going direct after 13th of April and staying over there in the 10th house with Saturn and Rahu. So this is the scenario of April. Only and only the 10th house is most important. Sun will also be coming into the 10th. By already 15th of March, it has entered into your 10th house, crossing Saturn. Now here one thing is that from 15th of March, Sun will see, as Sun enters into Aquarius, it will see a conjunction with Saturn. Now this is Sun-Saturn conjunction is always a collision of ideas and irritability. All these things happens because some kind of a maybe authoritative person. 9th house is also your boss, your father's health needs to be checked. All these I'm telling in them from 15th of March to 15th of April, when Sun will have a conjunction. 15th of February to 15th of March, when Sun will have a conjunction with Saturn in the 9th house. So father's health, bosses, you're getting dominated in your workplace. Some delay is happening. Maybe a promotion is due. You are not getting it immediately. It is getting delayed, or you get it by, a lot of struggles in that area. So 9th house sees a little bit of struggle over here at this point of time. So that is there. Now when April comes, as I told you, Sun is now in your 10th house. All the planets are in the 10th house. So you have to go with the flow. Whatever changes are happening in the 10th house, your Lagna Lord is debilitated. First, the debilitation means is that you feel that no one is of much help to you, and you have to start from the scratch. Things can happen like that if you're running a significant Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, these kind of dashantar dashas, if you are running then. So but anyway, this kind of a stellium of planets in the 10th house will show some changes in the 10th house area. That is for definite. Now as these changes are happening, we see another transit in the May month. May month will see Mercury, your Lagna Lord, coming into Aries, your 11th house, and Jupiter shifting from your 12th house to the 1st house. And Saturn is already in the 10th house. Rahu Ketu will change axis from your 10th and 4th to 9th and 3rd. Rahu will come into the 9th house and Ketu into the 3rd house. Now, the thing is that this change is, I cannot say it's a bad change, but the thing is that such big changes in a very short span of time can suddenly give a lot of things to do at the same time. You have to keep your balance because Mars is there in the 2nd house, not a very good planet for you, though the 11th Lord going into the 2nd house, it is there from January 21st, it is there on your Lagna. Mars on your Lagna, 21st January onwards, retrograde on the Lagna. The thing about this is that with all the changes that is happening, or all the changes that you know that is going to happen, you can feel too much heated up with Mars being on the Lagna and you want to take action. Now, I know Gemini, like Mercury, the Lagna Lord, it is quite goal-oriented sign, and those goals are very important. Because see, you have two very important signs in the fire signs are there in the 11th house and in the 3rd house. This gives you a gusto to go. And Mars, when it goes in the 2nd house, when all these changes are happening, your speech can get caught by people. You can speak something due to the pressure mounting on you or whatever. These things needs to be kept a check on. Though your Lagna Lord in the month of May will be in the it is in the 11th house. Just let me check. In the month of May, Sun, Mercury, both will be in Aries. Yeah. So this, within all the changes, Mars being from the 2nd April in your 2nd house, money is also becoming very important, other than whatever your professional changes you're going through. Take care of your father, or any disagreements with the father can easily happen at this point of time, given the 9th and 10th house condition. Now, in the May month, after the May month, we come to the June month, and we have Venus now finally coming out of Pisces to 11th house, and your Lagna Lord coming into the 12th house. So whatever starting point Mercury has started in Aries, because after the endings of Pisces, after all the things that has happened in Pisces, now the planets are dispersing from that 10th house. They're slowly moving out. First was Mercury and Sun in the 11th house. That was a good yoga. Now Mercury and Sun come into the 12th house. 12th house is like, you can a little bit, you can feel relaxed. You can take some time off. If you're not feeling well, you can go for some kind of a changes, all these things. Or simple as that, you can have some expenditure done for yourself. Sun, Mercury being then, it's not, 12th house is not in a bad condition. At this point of time, June month, Venus is alone now in your 11th house and looking into its own house, Libra, in the 5th house. Saturn by this time is alone in the 10th house, Rahu in the 9th, and Ketu in the 3rd house. Ketu in the 3rd house in Leo, I will do a separate video of Rahu Ketu as the transits will near. Now it's quite far, May month is quite far, but Ketu urges you to take sudden actions in Leo because it's a fiery sign, and action is important, but you must understand that how much and what calibrated way you have to do, because sometimes what, Pisces, when it becomes very important, action is important, but faith is also very important, and Rahu will give you a problem with faith related things in the 9th house. And Aquarius being your 9th house, you'll form a new kind of group or organization at this point of time. Maybe that takes away your attention. Rahu in the 9th does not do very good. That is the problem. Sign is good, Aquarius, own house of Rahu, but the way Rahu functions in the 9th house is very questionable. One thing is that Jupiter, as it is on your Lagna, whatever effort, whatever belief system, whatever work area, because see, your thinking process is now going to what areas? It is the 3rd, is the 9th and the 10th house. This is the process, what you're thinking, what initiative to take, which organization or what faith and what kind of things to, or even the bosses. Ninth house is very much the boss. So what to do and steps to be taken. 10th house Saturn is there, making you start from a lot of things which will be negated, because Saturn does not take light work. That is another problem with Saturn in the 10th house. As it enters the 10th, everything will not feel good. You will feel the karma karak, your 8th and 9th lord, bhagya lord, coming into Pisces. House is good, 10th, but look at the sign, Saturn in Pisces. That's why this 2.5 years of Saturn in Pisces is not very good for most of the industries that we understand, the major industries, because Pisces is a very abandonment sign. It is a 12th house sign. Here spiritual things are good, yoga process is good, natural Ayurvedic things are good. These industry will see a growth. Counseling, therapist, natural, all the natural things for Pisces, or just going to sadhana is also a part of Pisces. But the dynamic industries that we talk about, that is going to suffer when Saturn is in Pisces, because that is how the sign is, and that is why Saturn is not very much favored in Pisces, and that's why people are talking about it. So anyway, this June month you will see Venus in the 11th house, Mercury and Sun in the 12th. Now this June month is okay. Now July month, Mercury comes on the Lagna and has a conjunction with Jupiter. This is also very good. Actually, the 7th lord, the 10th lord on the Lagna, and the Lagna lord coming and joining. So it's a very good yoga, and Venus at that time will be in Taurus. So the arrangements of the planet are not bad. Understand that. All the smaller planets, June also, Mars will see from your 2nd to the 3rd house. Again, initiative. Driving, you should be cautious at this point of time. 3rd house, Mars Ketu conjunction from June onwards, whole of July. You should be cautious about driving, or having some rift with your neighbors or small brother, younger siblings, and all this. But otherwise, Mars Ketu is, if you take a cautious calibrated approach, it's not bad in the upper houses, not to that extent. But yeah, so that's what I was telling, that all the arrangement of the planets are falling into place slowly. But the main thing is your 10th and the 9th house. You will see whole year till Rahu is in the 9th and Saturn is in the 10th. Something you have to toil hard, and you have to make yourself believe, though the belief comes very late, and it is like you'll start fidgeting at times with the things that you want to do, and you want to push it forward. That is the problem with Ketu and Mars in the 3rd house. But it will not help in that way. You have to believe that things are happening as they are, and the process will be slow. Saturn in the 10th house is not a fast process. It will be tiresome, because by the end of the year, Saturn again comes back to the 1st degree of Pisces. So being retrograde, it comes to nearly 0 degrees, nearly. So it is like the whole year you have to be very, very patient. One wrong thing, Saturn will start, it is aspecting already the 12th house. So it will make you slog for very long hours, and it can go for even worse things also. So this is the June month, and then comes to the July month. July month, you see Jupiter and Sun on the Lagna getting a conjunction, Venus in Taurus, Mars plus Ketu is in the 3rd house, and Mercury, your Lagna Lord, has come to the 2nd house and getting retrograde over here in Cancer. You can feel a little bit emotionally overwhelmed at that point of time, because why, your 5th lord in the 12th house gives some problem, maybe with progeny, with love affairs, though its own sign, but it's aspected by Saturn. So some glitch in the way you will find with Venus, when Venus is in Taurus but own sign. Then Lagna is having Jupiter with Sun, but it is getting combust. So Sun is your third lord. You want to put maybe more effort, or maybe your authoritative person on you wants to make you put more effort. These things can happen with the Sun combusting Jupiter, that is your ninth and 10th lord. So work pressure, work things, maybe you cannot see anything before that. That's why Mercury gets a little puzzled in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is a very deep, watery, emotional sign. You can feel emotionally low, or thinking about money. Maybe you will feel you're working too much, money is not to that extent. That also you can feel. But this is how Mercury does, it gets rectified the things. That is, retrogression means the planet is behaving in a very unnatural way there, because it is going slow, it is going back. But Mercury is a speed up planet. You want it to speed up, right? So that will happen now in the month of August, as Mercury Sun after getting but August also sees that retrograde Mercury continuing. Jupiter plus Venus in August on your Lagna, this is a good thing. And Mars now come into the 4th house. So this is your Virgo house. Is now Mars is coming in and getting aspect of Saturn from the 10th house. So again, the position of Mars is not very good in the month of August till 15th of September. See, Mars is having a challenging sign this time. So it is your 11th and 6th lord, both the Upachya houses. Now, that's why I'm telling you, I feel this year you cannot go very fast in your things. If you do, then the 10th house matters will suffer. The 9th house matters, relations will suffer. Mars being in the 4th house and then going into the 5th house by 15th September. Sun, Mercury, Ketu combination in the month of September in your 3rd house. All these things are not very easy. It's not easy. That's why maybe see, we are looking at 2025 that it can be a challenging year. Yeah, at point it becomes intense, definitely, but at point of time it is not bad also. But 10th house Saturn, wherever Saturn goes, the focus goes there. And this time Saturn is in turbulent water of Pisces, deep water, faith. Saturn is a very practical planet. You want to do things practically. But the more you think practically regarding your 10th house matter, it will not give you much way. Pisces is not a practical sign. That has to be kept in mind. This combination with Saturn and Pisces, that is the issue. It takes you from practicality. Yeah, you have to do the work in a practical way, but the results will not come in a practical way. What I put in, what I get in, that is not going to happen so fast. Saturn is going to stay for a long time in Pisces, back and forth in Aries, and then again back in Pisces in 2027. So that's why it's a long haul. Wait for the transit, let the things pan out. Be a little cautious, as Mercury, whenever Mercury gets retrograde, it is in the watery sign. You may feel very lost at times. It happens. It definitely happens like that. Now, October sees Mars coming into your 5th house, and Mercury also by this time, after transiting Leo and Virgo, will join Mars over here. Sun and Venus will be in Virgo in your 4th house. So, October also sees Jupiter coming into your 2nd house after 18. So, October month is another month where you get certain changes. Before that, September month, maybe I forgot to tell you that there is a Venus Ketu conjunction, and Mars will be in Libra after 15th of September. So at that time, relationship will be prime importance and caution for all the ascendants. For you also, no doubt, it is the 5th lord. Venus getting conjuncted with Ketu in the 3rd house. Not a good conjunction. We all know that. And on that, Mars is also coming into Libra, the 5th house. So there can be breaks, there can be arguments, there can be processes which are difficult to handle. You can feel mentally very upset with the relationship front, because now your focus mainly is, as I told, the 10th and the 9th. Now, October month, the change that happens, that Jupiter, October is, we'll see again the watery trikon, that is your Artha trikon. The second house, 6th and 10th are fully active with Jupiter from 18th of October being in the second house, Mercury in the 6th house again, and also with Mars and also Saturn in the 10th house. So see, you have crossed the whole, your Lagna Lord has crossed all the signs and come back in the month of November. Fully you'll have this thing, Jupiter in Cancer, Mars, Mercury in Scorpio, and also Saturn in Pisces. So this is near the end of the year. Now, end of the year will see definitely Mercury going retrograde in Scorpio, again some baggage clearing, because see, this watery signs, why they're watery? They're Moksha Trikon, and Moksha Trikon, where in your Artha Trikon it is the watery signs. So maybe you have piled up a lot of things with yourself, you need to let go certain of the things. Moksha Trikon main thing that it does in our life is that it wants us to go with the flow and leave the things behind. It's like the water, wherever it takes you, you take the shape of it, and don't, which is easy to say, but obviously it's not easy to do. So that's why again Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Scorpio again after 1 year. 2024, same thing is happening now. Same thing will happen in 2025 again, with Mars adding to Scorpio, Mars in its own sign. So this is the whole thing, but savior is that Jupiter will be at that time in the second house. It is a good transit of exalted Jupiter aspecting Saturn and Mars in Scorpio and Pisces. Again, Jupiter will go back into a sign exactly retrograde by the end of December, the 3rd or 4th week of December. Again, you'll have the blessing of Jupiter. But the thing is that one thing, Gemini, is that when Jupiter comes into Gemini, maybe certain knowledges you get, but understand this Jupiter is running very fast from 12th to the 1st to the 2nd. So, you keep these knowledge to yourself. You don't have to share it too much, and make it use for yourself, because sometimes it happens. So if you want to put that knowledge to others, it is not wanted. And this year relationship is also quite important for you, because Jupiter and Rahu aspects Libra, your 5th house. Some new relation, something about marriage, because Jupiter, the 7th lord, is coming on the Lagna. So work, marriage, 5th house, 9th house, packed here for you. There is a lot of things that you have to handle, and the position of Mars on top of that, your 11th lord and your 8th lord is not very good at most of the transits of Mars is not very good. So the keeping cool is not an easy thing, but is there any other option? I don't feel. We have to get, burnt with Ketu in Leo, and getting emotional with Saturn, slogging with Saturn Pisces, but we have to go with the flow, and that's why transits are spoken about in the video, so that it helps you beforehand how to deal with the situation. Hope my video puts a light on whatever is happening in next year 2025. A lot of actions every month. I'll be giving transit video, because too many transits happening next year. All are very important actually. So till then, take care, Gemini ascendants. Om Namah Shivaya. See you later.